The world has lost two big talents this evening.
Alicia Davis joins us now with details of that loss. Alicia.
Well, thank you. Well, his show was so popular it spurred sales of a newfangled invention called television sets. Tonight, the cigar-smoking vaudevillian known as Mr. Television has died. Milton Berle was 93. A spokesman says the Hollywood legend died at his Los Angeles home this afternoon after a lengthy illness. His wife was at his side. Berle was among the first 7 inductees into the TV Hall of Fame. And coming up in about 10 minutes, I'll have a chat with Berle's former spokesman, Roger Neal. The entertainment world is also mourning.
And 9, because tonight is Tuesday, and you know what that means. That's right, Uncle Milty's on again.
Uncle Milty was a network mainstay for nearly 20 years. The Texaco Star Theater established Berle in what would become legendary skits, often with the comedian in skirts.
Me? Berle wear a gown? You must be kidding.
And, of course, there was makeup.
The Texaco show was a live show. They got what they saw what they got. And as they made a blooper, you couldn't take it over.
His guests included some of the biggest stars of the day, from Lewis and Martin to Peter Lorre.
You remember the old Berle, don't you?
I do.
Yeah?
It's the only thing that ever frightened me.
To Elvis Presley.
He didn't enter. He burst on stage like a crazy animal let out of a cage. And you couldn't take your eyes off him. And when he was in the scene with other people, watch Milton.
Berle also made several movies throughout his career. Among them, It's a Mad, 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 Mad World. In Broadway's Danny Rose, he played himself.
2 days later, Danny runs into Milton Berle on Broadway.
Also to his credit, some 400 published songs. He could even carry a tune.
Quite a hectic career every year, brought a smile and a tear.
And he could cut the rug. Whatever the moves, the purpose was comedy.
I think laughter is very, very imperative, and that's an important part of my life, of making people laugh so they can forget their problems. Or I don't care if it's for a minute or 2 or 5 minutes. It takes away the stress and the pressure. A good laugh is better than anything.
Berle continued getting laughs in his later years, often in guest spots on TV shows.
Move that check.
His 90th birthday was cause for celebration with parties on both coasts. President Clinton attended in New York. In Los Angeles, Bob Hope. Recognition for his achievements came from fellow comedians at Comic Relief and from the Television Academy, which honored Berle in 1998 along with Sid Caesar. Their backstage repartee was vintage Berle.
There's only one of a kind, and he's only one of a kind.
Very nice.
Now, what do you think about me?
You're one of a kind, Milton.
I know the kind you mean. This has been a wonderful interview.
Milton Berle. Uncle Milty was 93 years old.
Behind a legacy of laughs that is larger than life. He's being remembered as a man who changed America today, Thursday, March 28th, 2002.
From NBC News, this is Today with Katie Couric and Matt Lauer. Live from Studio 1A in Rockefeller Plaza.
And good morning. Welcome to Today on a Thursday morning. I'm Matt Lauer.
Katie's got the morning off. I'm Ann Curry. Good morning, everybody. Milton Berle died at home in Los Angeles, surrounded by his family. He was 93.
He can best be described as a pioneer, a man who literally put television on the map. When his comedy variety show, the Texaco Star Theater, went on the air back in 1948, right here in NBC Studio 6B in Rockefeller Center, America changed forever. He single-handedly made TVs a must-have for every American household. We're going to look back at his long and legendary career and talk to some of his friends in just a couple of moments.
We'll also remember Dudley Moore this morning. The comedic British actor passed away from pneumonia after a long illness on Wednesday. He was 66. Uncle Milty. NBC's Bob Dotson now on the life of a legend, Milton Berle.
Almost anybody in this country old enough to remember the early 1950s, what they did on Tuesday nights.
Oh, we're the men of Texaco.
And they'll tell you they were watching Uncle Milty.
Milton
Milton Berle was so popular, store owners closed early so we could get to our TV sets by 8 o'clock.
I'm glad. Lady, please, please. You got all night to make a fool of yourself. I only got an hour. Please.
Berle always showed up dressed for laughs. Before Berle, most neighborhoods had one TV per block, but not for long.
This guy essentially was the Pied Piper that sent us out to the store to buy a television set. He essentially was this person that brought us back to our own living rooms and that really got this medium moving.
In his debut season, 1948, 4 out of 5 TVs were tuned to the Milton Berle show. So many viewers, the water level dropped in New York City during commercials, when everyone ran to the bathroom.
You listen to me. I'm Berle.
Two Berle names.
We called him Uncle Milty because Berle was more than a comedian. Kids wouldn't go to bed on Tuesday nights until Uncle Milty told them to do so.
Listen to him. Why did I listen to him?
You listen to me because I'm Berle.
He's the star.
I'm the star.
Now say you're sorry.
Yeah, tell me you're sorry.
I'm sorry you're a star.
Milton Berle was television's first superstar, a tough-talking, cigar-smoking New Yorker who grew up in show business. At age 5, he won a vaudeville contest imitating Charlie Chaplin. Went on to appear in 50 silent films, Broadway and radio, before hitting it big in TV. In 1951, NBC made him the highest-paid television comedian of his time.
6B, Milton Berle's favorite.
Signed him to an unprecedented $200,000 a year contract for 30 years, whether Berle worked or not.
Tonight is Tuesday, and you know what that means. That's right, Uncle Millie's on again.
But Berle never stopped looking for laughs. He often joked about stealing other comedians' gags. His friends called him the thief of bad gags.
I never stole a joke. I never stole a joke. I just found them before they were lost.
Even so, those comedians remember him with affection.
Lady, don't laugh. You may have children of your own one of these days.
If you're on stage with him, brother, you better be hot and you better be armed because he knew everything. You start a joke, he's going to finish it. And the best thing is to lay back, let him work, and say, oh, that's wonderful.
Milton Berle lived to be 93.
Oh, the days dwindle down to a precious few.
He spanned nearly a century of comedy. His success, he said, was simple.
I like lights. I like people. I like to hear people laugh. I like to try to make them laugh.
And he did. For today, Bob Dotson, NBC News, New York.
While he was Uncle Milty to his fans and Mr. Television to his viewers, to actor Mickey Rooney and his wife Jan, and comedian and actor Alan King, Milton Berle was a friend. Good morning, folks. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Matt.
Mickey, let me start with you. What are your early memories of Milton Berle?
Well, Milton Berle and I have been friends for about 65 years, even longer. And he's was a magnificent comedian. But Matt, something that a lot of people don't know, he was a serious actor too. He won an Emmy one year. And he was a gigantic man. And I'll never forget our making Mad World with Buddy Hackett and all of us, all of those comedians. It was a wonderful, wonderful experience knowing Milton. And I called him just the day before yesterday. And his houseman answered the phone. I said, "Is house Mr. Berle?" And he said, "Well, he's asleep." I said, "Well, tell him that we called, Jan and I, and because he cared about everybody, and I'm proud to say he was one of my dear friends."
Jan, I know he used to call your house, and he always had a joke when he called. Wasn't that right?